Okay, everyone. I think we'll get started because the hour will fly by and we want to try and get through as much of this as possible. Thank you so much for joining us. We know that settling in at school webinar would resonate with a lot of parents because it is just one of those times that we all are unsure of what to expect, especially if it's our first child starting school. So what we are going to do, we are going to look at things that will help you as a parent, help your child get the most out of what hopefully will be a happy and enjoyable learning journey for both you and your child. But putting things in place now in the earliest years, you are actually setting the foundations for the rest of your child's schooling life, not just for them, but also for you. You may be surprised when I say this, but your relationship with the school that your child attends is actually just as important as your child's relationship with the school. Sorry, I'm going to take a wee drink of water here. We will look at this in a wee while to see why it is important. But firstly, we're going to look now at what we actually mean by being comfortable at school. So if you look up the word comfortable in the dictionary, you will see it is described as providing physical ease and relaxation. And this is what we want for our children at school. We want them to be at ease physically, so they are not uptight or anxious, and they are feeling relaxed, ready for their day of fun and learning. There is no doubt that starting school is exciting and a very precious time in both you and your child's life. It is also for some, though, an anxious time because this is such a huge milestone and it represents your child's first momentous step towards independence. Any of you who have done our webinars or courses before this will have heard us say so many times that you are your child's most important teacher. The parent is the primary teacher and they are the most important teacher. And what you have been doing for the last 4 years or so has actually laid down a lot of foundations for your child's learning now and for the future. LifeStart has a lovely program called At Home in School, and much of what we talk about today comes from that program. I just love that term, at home in school, because when we think of being at home, we generally think of being at ease and being relaxed, i.e. comfortable. We as parents would like our child to be happy and to do well in school. There are 4 areas they need to be comfortable with if they are to settle in well and enjoy learning new things in the school environment. And these 4 things are: 1, recognize the importance of a book and that a book tells a story. 2, understand routines. 3, hold a brush, crayon or pencil. Now it's the chubby ones, it's not the narrow ones that children start to use as they get older. 4, take care of their own personal needs. I'm going to give you a wee overview of each of these now so that you understand what we're talking about. So a book tells a story. Your child will love to hear a good story. Perhaps you do also. We all love a good story, a good yarn, whether we're reading it, and sometimes we just love people to be able to tell us ones. But stories and books are a wonderful, fun way to teach about so many different experiences and people. We actually have loads of books too that share the types of diversity and people that your child will want to meet in school. And I'm actually going to recommend a book here now. It's called All Are Welcome, and it's by Alexandra Penfold and Suzanne Kaufman. Now, if anyone wants more information on that, they can email us later on and we will pass on those details. But it's a lovely book. It talks about all the different types of children and the diversity of children that they will meet in the classroom. To help your child settle in the school, continue to read and share books. If you don't already do this, there is still time to start. It is never too late to start. If you don't do it already, do get into the habit of doing it now. Your child should have the opportunity to see and experience many books. Books for looking at on their own and books for you to read to them. Just by handling books, your child is learning how to hold them, and how to turn pages one by one. By looking at the pictures, they will be able to follow the story. Encourage your child to talk about the pictures. This will develop your child's observation and language skills, and you may find they make up their own stories as they read the book. This is great. Don't try to change them. Allow their imagination to go with what the picture is actually telling them. You know that old saying that a picture paints 1,000 words. So when they're looking at a picture, they might see something totally magical, and allow them to explore that. The thing is about when children are younger, it's actually, some educational experts believe that it's not a good idea to actually teach your child to read at a young age, because research has shown that children who are taught too early are actually overtaken by others when they reach age 10. So it's important to just spend time talking about the pictures, turning the pages, and simply enjoying books rather than trying to get your child to read the books. So on we go. Reading every day, make it a habit. Try to find time to read every day and to make reading and storytelling enjoyable. It doesn't take very long. In fact, most bedtime stories only take about 10 to 15 minutes. If you already do this, you are already helping your child to be comfortable in the classroom, to be comfortable at school. If you can manage it, take your children to the library and teach them how to choose their own books. Remember too that if children see parents enjoying a good read, that you enjoy books, they will see reading as a useful and pleasurable thing. A good read can be a book, a novel, the newspaper, your favorite magazine. It really doesn't matter what you read, because if your child sees you reading, they see that reading is important. You know that saying, there's nothing as contagious as example. And the example you are giving is the importance of reading and using books or reading material. Now, I would be mindful of using your smartphone and things like that, because that is screen time, and screen time is not recommended for the under 5s. As you read them, not only do they learn that the squiggles on the page have a meaning, they are also learning that reading is fun. As you sit close together, they will also associate the experience of reading with the comfortable feeling of being with you. So it's that association. Even when they're in the classroom and they're doing reading, they will get that warm, fuzzy feeling that this is something that I do at home as well. So the next thing we're going to look at is routines. All children need routines. In fact, all adults need routines. I certainly do. Life in the classroom is governed by the daily routine of lessons, activities, and breaks. For a child who has not experienced a structured daily routine, this will be another area to which they will have to adapt. Your daily routines at home play an important part in helping your child adapt to school routines. Not only will you be helping them settle in more easily at school by having your routines at home, but your child will begin to learn about time and time patterns. Routines in the home, for example, are set daily times for meals, for washing, for going to bed, getting up in the morning, and they are all important ways of letting children get to know about time and how it flows, how one thing follows another. Little did you know you were teaching them about maths by doing all this type of stuff. Learning about the order of things and time is an important skill, which not only teaches your child about time, but also gets them ready for the different steps involved in reading and early maths at school. Having a routine also gives your child a sense of security, whether at home or in school. As children experience routine, they get to know and look forward to the time in the day when they will be able to do their favorite things. When at school, they will soon recognize the time at near home time and that you will be coming to pick them up. So the next thing now is encouraging independence. So your child is now required to do things for themselves that we may normally have helped them with, such as washing their hands, tidying up, or even using the bathroom. If you have not already done so, now is the time to encourage your child to develop the skills they need so they can confidently tackle these jobs for themselves at school. Please don't panic if your young child has an accident in the first few weeks. This is normal, and your child's teacher will have the skills and, more importantly, the kindness to deal with these little classroom accidents. I know that most children are now adept at hand washing in light of the pandemic, but it is still important to ensure they know how to wash their hands properly. Every job that your child is given to do in developing their independence can actually be broken down into the smaller parts. They need to understand the individual steps. So, for example, washing their hands involves turning on the tap, lathering the soap, rinsing their hands, turning off the tap, and finally drying their hands. And don't forget to teach them how to put things back in their place. In the school or the classroom, they need to know to put away things after they've used them. By encouraging independence, you will be giving your child the opportunity to experience a great sense of achievement. As a confident, independent child, they will be able to manage basic care needs for themselves when you are not around. Another excellent way to promote independence is to teach your child to put on and take off their coat by themselves. Over the years, the number of teachers I've talked to with young children in the classroom who cannot put on their own coats. And if you can imagine being the teacher with 25 or 30 children, and it's a winter's day and they're going out to the park and she or he are trying to help do up the coats, the child who can do it themselves, they are feeling confident and they are feeling good about themselves. The reason why we suggest this is because it is actually a difficult skill to master. So if you can help their child, first of all, and allow them to practice it now before the winter days come, and they will be well able to do it whenever they arrive. So independence also comes slowly, but you can help children achieve it by letting them do the things they can do for themselves. If you watch them carefully and see how far they can get by themselves and not let them get frustrated, because if they end up frustrated, they stop trying to do things. So what you do is you step in and help them with what they are finding difficult, but then allow lots of practice. And the more they practice, the further they will get until they can do it for themselves. So knowing your child, you are the expert on your child. Only you know the things they like or dislike, what they will try or what they will hold back from trying. By getting into the habit of observing your child in a variety of situations, you will get a clear picture of their interests, fears, and abilities. You can identify where their strengths are and the areas where they need a little more practice and encouragement. This is really important because you can then use this information while you're observing your child and develop ways in which you can help your child be more comfortable at school. Your child's teacher will be happy to assist by recommending books, art materials, and toys that you can help as learning aids to help your child develop the areas where maybe they're not so strong at. The other thing is emotional readiness. And what we mean by this is that your child feels happy and secure when apart from you and confident about being in school or going to school. These areas are a matter of confidence and attitude, and your child will take their cue from you. You might be surprised about that, but they're actually taking this from you. If they sense that you are uncomfortable about leaving them or anxious about how they will get on in school, they may become fearful and anxious too. Knowing that your child is ready for school should increase your confidence as mum or dad and ease any anxious thoughts you may have. So dealing with the first few weeks, there's no two ways about it. Leaving your child in school for the first time for some can be a traumatic experience, as well as for the children. We have all heard the stories of the parent who was more upset than the child. My youngest child, whenever I took him in on his first day at school, because he was my last, I was there going, oh, how am I going to manage now? I have no children at school. And I was hanging around, and at the end up, he actually came over and said to me, Mommy, you can go now. It's okay. I'm grand. And I felt terrible because it was me who was hanging on for the last moment. And here was my 5-year-old just wanting to get on in his journey of learning and get rid of the mommy sort of thing. So I feel your pain. I know what some of you are actually going through. So for that, that's it. Your child is really, really good at picking up on how you're feeling, regardless of what they hear you say. So for some, the first few days can be really exciting. But as things settle down then, and the reality that this is actually going to go on, it's not just for a few days, you can actually have some tears maybe in the second or third week. So be prepared for that. The ones who start off in the first week that are all happy and thinking this is just the best thing and it's so exciting, be prepared maybe in the second week or the third week that the tears may come then, because of the reality that this is actually their life now for the up until their first holiday at Halloween, the first term time holiday. So whatever the experience though, it is important that your child feels secure when they are in or at school. So the following can help the process of feeling comfortable and secure. So for the first few weeks, if possible, mum and dad should try to bring the child to school. Don't worry if this is not possible. Like, there are many working mums and dads now, or mums and dads for whatever reason can't take their child to school. But let them know who is taking them to school. Let them be that important person for the morning drop-off or the pickup time. At home time, try to be at school waiting for them. Don't be arriving late. Children can get anxious if they don't see a familiar face outside the classroom. Another great thing is, if you know another child who has started the school with them, introduce the children, even if they don't know each other, introduce them to each other. It's good if they see a familiar face or someone their own age just in their environment that they actually can latch onto or be part, going through the experience together. Now, another really important thing is never to use school as a threat. You know those sayings when people, just you wait till you get into school, they'll soon change you, or just you wait, they'll soon sort you out when you get into school. Those type of things actually instill fear, and a child will never feel comfortable in an environment that is used as a threat. So the next thing, we outlined that in this webinar, we were going to look at making new friends. I'm going to flip this a wee bit. We are going to look at this from the perspective of the parent, and this is for a very good reason. You and your child have reached a very important crossroads now in your child's life. You'll want them to get the very best from their journey through school, but unfortunately, there is no sat nav out there to guide us through it. So if you think in the primary school years, you know, it is a big journey, and how are we going to get through it that we can actually maximize and get the best for our children? This is where the perfect partnership between your child's teacher, your child, and you begins. So we're talking about the friendship with school from a parent's perspective. The parent, you know your child, how they think, what interests and motivates them. You are their first teacher, and you are best placed to be able to help your child to achieve their full potential. Teacher. Your child's teacher has a wealth of experience, information, and ideas which will help them learn and be content in the school environment. And your child will rely on both of you to encourage, support, and guide them through the coming years. Sometimes you will lead, other times, and believe you me, you will have to push, but always value and praise your child's efforts. Your belief in the importance of education and the work you do with your child in the home is critically important to how well they will do at school. However, it will take all three of this perfect partnership to achieve the best results. So now is the time to get to know the teacher and help him or her to know your child. By taking the time now, you will feel part of the school and, more importantly, feel part of an amazing learning journey your child is about to embark on. This is just lovely. And just take a second and I'm going to read it to you. Your child is a unique little individual, and they will always have the capacity to surprise and amaze you. So your child is now beginning a more independent stage in life, and from now on will be meeting lots of new people. It is important for a child's confidence and self-esteem that they are comfortable talking to the people they will meet, including teachers and other adults in the school. Here are a few ways in which you can build up your child's confidence and teach them to speak for themselves. For example, have you ever been out at the shop or up the street and you run into someone and the person who you talk to actually treat your child as if they're not there, as if the child can't speak for themselves? These well-meaning people might ask you, oh, what is his name, or what age is she, and so on. Answering for your child treats them as if they are not there. Instead, bring them into the conversation and let them answer the questions about themselves. You could say things like, Anne, tell Mrs. So-and-so how old you are. If your child is shy, don't force them into a conversation with a stranger, but do include them in your replies. For example, Ethan's 4, aren't you, Ethan? And they just nod their head. By introducing them to other people, you are letting them feel involved and telling them that they are important. In addition, you are teaching them good manners. No one wants to feel like a non-person. I'm sure we've all been in conversations where, people are talking away and they're not directing it at us at all. You actually can't feel like a non-person. This is the way your child feels. So try to take on board whenever you are talking about them or in the situation, to involve them in the conversation. Treat your child as a person in their own right and introduce them in polite conversation. When others don't talk directly to your child, you can make a difference by involving them in the conversation. So your child is now in school, probably going into their second week now for most of you. This is a lovely wee thing that I want to share with you. So if you haven't already thought about it, you could buy a scrapbook or make for a book to record their experiences, to record their progress and their development over the first year. Of course, you can do it for each year of the school if you want, because it is a fantastic way of valuing your child's efforts, which it actually also contributes to to feeling good about what they are doing at school. It is nurturing positive self-esteem and confidence, of which Sharleen is going to look at now in a moment. So here are a few things you might like to put into your child's memory book. Samples of their early writings, drawings and paintings, colorings in and cutting out activities, photographs. Some people I know have them all over their kitchen walls or different things like that there to celebrate it. But if you want to do it in a nice, tidy way, a memory book is a lovely way of doing it. You could also include the names of their friends in the first year. An important thing is to remember to date the book, because if you're looking back at over the years, you actually have a document, say, for example, that Ethan went to the zoo with his friends, and you have a little picture of it on the 6th of November, 2021. In years to come, this will become a very special book, and it will trigger off some wonderful memories of your child's first year in school, and of course for us as the parents. So now I'm going to hand you over to Sharleen, and I will thank you for listening to me for that, and I'm just going to stop my share, and Sharleen will talk to us now about self-esteem, empathy and behaviour. Sharleen, you are...
Right, thank you, Mary. Good morning, everybody. I'll just put my screen up here. Sorry, just a wee second. Hey, everybody see that okay? Mary, yeah. So, settling on at school. The first day of school, what a milestone and an emotional experience for everyone. Whether it's sadness that your baby is growing so quickly, or pride that your little person is just absolutely fantastic and achieving so much, it can be quite the roller coaster. When we think of a child starting school, we usually think of all the things we need to get, such as their uniform, lunchbox, school bag, new shoes. But there are some things that are more important than these. So the first thing that we are going to look at is self-esteem. For all of our child's life, we have been building their self-esteem. This is usually achieved by developing a secure attachment. They know that we are their primary caregiver. They trust us and feel secure as we're always there for them. They are always loved and cared for, have endless forms of affection, and mostly our undivided attention. Just as they are the centre of our world, we are also theirs. But now some of this is about to change. They will be going into a new environment with new caregivers that they will have to share with 20 to 30 other children. So how do we prepare them for that? If we hear something often enough, it soon sticks, and that becomes our truth. We want our children to be the best that they can be and to reach their full potential. To do this, they must believe in themselves. That is why we must ensure their self-esteem is at a level where others cannot diminish it. So have you ever heard the saying, parents need to fill a child's bucket of self-esteem so high that the rest of the world can't poke enough holes to drain it dry? And this is a wee quote by Alvin Price. But this is so true. We need to let our children know how important they are and that they can achieve anything they put their mind to. This is encouraging their confidence, so then when we can't be with them in places like the school environment, that they are capable of being their own person. We want this so that if someone isn't being especially nice, that they can recognise that this is the other person's issues. Also, that they will not be manipulated by peer pressure when they get older and can think for him or herself, and be confident enough to know their own voice and be able to say their own opinions and values. During their time at school, they will encounter lots of different personalities and personas. Some will be of the same mind and some won't, but if they are self-assured, they can accept and embrace everyone's differences. So 10 ways you can help to build your child's self-esteem. Plan activities for positive parent-child interactions. So we've discussed in different other webinars about the special time that you have with their children. Be spontaneous and make the most of opportunities to interact with your child. Pay attention to what your child is telling you. Encourage your child to tell you more about the things that they do. Try not to be judgmental when your child has told you something. Become more aware of what you say to your child, when you say it, and how you say it. Show affection for your child, not just in actions, but in words. Pay attention and reward the good behaviour. Give your child some real age-appropriate responsibility, which you know your child can do. And make a deliberate decision to help build your child's self-esteem. The next thing that is essential is empathy. So why is empathy so important? It helps people to connect and build relationships. This is vital in all aspects of our life, at any age. It helps in conflict resolution when we can see things from the other point of view. Teaching our young kids how to share is a prime example of empathy. For example, if you share your toys with Grace, she will be so happy. Or Joe is sad because you grabbed his spade from him. By doing this, we are encouraging them to think of the feelings of others. When we are empathic, we are more open-minded, which helps us to challenge our own prejudices. It gives us a sense of social responsibility and promotes more cooperative and socially competent behaviour. It helps us understand what motivates others when we can see it from their perspective, including those we don't know. This is an immense part of our social skills, something that will prove very beneficial when starting school or a nursery setting. Building friendships is so important and contributes enormously to the whole settling in process in any childcare setting. So how does developing empathy help our children? It helps manage their emotions and behaviour. It helps to maintain their self-esteem, builds on child resilience, fosters emotional literacy, health and well-being, enables children to establish and maintain meaningful relationships, reduces violent and bullying behaviours, strengthens children against negative peer pressure, facilitates learning and improves school outcomes, promotes creativity and problem solving. Now, these slides, these are just a brief overview. However, we have more information on our previous webinars. We've covered each of these topics, and they can be found on our YouTube channel if you want to check them out. Alternatively, you can drop us a wee email and we'll try to help you the best we can. The next thing in settling in a school is the change in behaviour. You may find a change in your child's behaviour. They may be anxious about starting school, or while at school something may be worrying them. And as Mary said, it mightn't be the first week, it could be the second week whenever they realise that this is now the new normal for them. And anxiety can take many forms. It will not necessarily be them just telling you what's going on or that they're worried. It can possibly be acting out, displaying unusual or challenging behaviour. They may become withdrawn or quiet, have tearful episodes, disrupted sleep, poor appetite, may begin bedwetting or feeling sick the minute they go to the school door, or not allowing you out of sight and just completely distracted. There are so many ways that it can be displayed, so it is important to keep your eye out for any of these. But if you do notice any of them, gently address the subject with them. Let them know that they are not alone and that other children and adults sometimes feel anxious too. Talk about what is worrying them and see if you can both work out a solution. Perhaps it is anxiety about being away from you. Reassure them that school will be fun and you will be there to pick them up as soon as it's over. Depending on some school guidance, they may be able to take something from home with them, perhaps a teddy or familiar object, just until they are feeling more reassured. And some schools actually ask for family pictures that they can put up throughout the room. So then if your child is feeling a wee bit upset or sad, they can go and see their family. It's just all about that wee comfort and connection with home. Teachers and classroom assistants are great at supporting an anxious child. Sometimes the child can be the teacher's helper for the day and stay with them until they feel better. Or maybe take them to a quiet corner and read a story. The staff will work in partnership with parents to ensure the child feels safe and secure at school. Now, every child is different and may take a few days or could take a few weeks. But as soon as your child becomes more familiar with their new surroundings and realizes that someone is always there for them, they will begin to enjoy their experience. So remember, when managing your child's behaviour, how you react is normally connected to how your child is behaving. Always try to be more self-aware and mindful of how you yourself are feeling. If you step back and think before reacting, it will reduce the feelings of guilt after the event. We all have times when we didn't handle the situation in the way we probably should have, and then just feel terrible afterwards. Your child's behaviour is linked to their stage of development. It is the role of the parent to provide the structured freedom that a child needs to explore and learn new things. As far as possible, concentrate on the positive behaviour and ignore the negative. What you pay attention to is what you will get more of. So remember to reinforce and praise all the good behaviour. Be as specific as you can. Sometimes a child can't understand if you're saying, like, would you please just watch yourself? That's not children are very literal. They need, sorry, just let me say, can I get this? Just try and be as specific as you can with them. Tell them what it is you want them to do rather than the negative. Keep your emotions under control and speak calmly. Let your child know that you love them, even when you dislike their misbehaviour. Be consistent in what you say and ensure everyone agrees to these boundaries. It is so important that all adults are on the same page so as not to confuse your child. And remember, they're only small for a little while. Stories are a fantastic way of coaching children for all eventualities. There are lots of books about starting school with lots of different scenarios. This gives your child an insight into what to expect and how to manage situations. It is also important to validate feelings and communicate. You can tell them that you'll miss them and it's okay, it's only for a little while, or that it's fine to be nervous. Everyone gets nervous when they begin something new. Perhaps they're just so excited and can't wait for all the fun things they're going to do with their friends. It's all about keeping the lines of communication open and that you understand or can support their feelings, whatever they may be. Some of the books give little strategies that you can use with your child, such as the kissing hand. This story tells you about a wee raccoon going to school and the mummy kisses the hand. But you can draw a little heart in your child's hand and kiss it before they go into school. And then if they're feeling anxious throughout the day, they still have the little heart in their hand. A great way to help an anxious child settle in. But and we'll just have a wee look at the books here. The Kissing Hand, A Huge Bag of Worries. So this is great for helping the anxious child. Owl Babies is about the mummy always returning to them. And as the one Mary mentioned earlier, All Are Welcome. We have one about going to school. And then Have You Filled Your Bucket Today? That is about the self-esteem. And Giraffes Can't Dance. That is also about confidence and self-esteem. So some great books if you're interested in getting them for your children now for starting school. Now, I'm sure some of you will have heard the saying about street angel, home devil. And often teachers tell us what an angel your child has been. And then the little angel comes home, screams and shouts and has a complete meltdown. Does this sound familiar? Instead of labeling our children as devils, think about this for a minute. Some children spend all day at school trying to be good. They work hard to meet the expectations and challenges of the classroom while holding in their true emotions. When they come home to you, their safe space, all their emotional release. They may be angry, tearful, or seem disrespectful. But remember, they are physically and emotionally exhausted. We call it after school restraint collapse. And that is by Dr. Mary O'Kane. I'm sure we've all experienced something similar after a difficult day. So what can we do to help the situation? When they come out of school, try not to bombard them with questions such as, what did you do today? Did you have a good day? How did you eat all your lunch? All the usual questions we want to find out whenever we collect them. They might not feel like sharing at that present minute. They just want to take a deep breath and relax. Some children might like some quiet time to relax. They might want something to eat or drink. It could be watching their favorite program, listening to music, or playing outside. They might want to go and bounce on the trampoline, get rid of all that bottled up frustration. You know what's best for your child and what will work. And if you just give them this time after school, it will help eliminate all those meltdowns. And finally, reward you and your child. Make it through a tough week Tell your child how proud you are of them and how great they are doing. Have a relaxing movie night together, maybe a trip to the park, an ice cream, whatever you and your family decide. But simply recognise that you're all doing well. So thank you for listening, and I'm going to pass you back to Mary now.
Thanks a million, Sharleen. I keep forgetting to unmute myself. That was lovely. So what I'm going to do now is, unfortunately, Veronica, who was going to do the piece on mindfulness for us, is quite sick this week. So I'm going to just talk to you a bit on mindfulness, and if we have time, we're going to share a wee video with you at the end of it. Okay, so I will turn my screen now, and we will look at a presentation on mindfulness for families. You know when you can share. Still not seeing it? No? Oh, you can see it now. I know I've just got a message up there that my internet is unstable. You're always panicking when we're doing these live webinars that the internet will stay with us for the hour. So Sharleen, thank you so much for giving us that overview on self-esteem, empathy and behaviour. And as Sharleen says, like, we have talked about these in previous webinars. We also have our booklets on child development. So I'll talk to you about them in a minute after this here, but we can post them out to you too if you want them, that looks at each of those areas in a little bit more detail for you. So now I'm going to give you the quick overview on mindfulness, because by being aware of this, there are, so I'm going to just start again. By being aware of this during the day, it can make all the difference to our mood and well-being. So what actually is mindfulness? It is simply paying attention to the present moment, to your own thoughts and feelings, and to the world around you. This is how we can help maintain good mental health, just the same as exercise helps us keep our bodies healthy. This is something for families, mums, dads, grandparents, children, everyone. If we could get more in tune with mindfulness to the here and now, instead of worrying about what happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow, and just being in the here and now. So these are some techniques on how to be mindful. According to a guy called Professor Mark Williams of the Oxford Mindfulness Centre, he believes it is easy to stop noticing the world around us. I actually totally agree with this, because I am guilty of it. It is also easy to lose touch with the way our bodies are feeling and to end up living in our heads. When we do this, we get caught up in our thoughts without noticing how these thoughts actually are driving our emotions and our behaviors. Mindfulness is important because it allows us to reconnect with our bodies and the sensations they experience. We do this by noticing the sights, sounds, smells, and tastes of what are happening now in the present moment. How to be more mindful? According to Professor Williams, we should notice the everyday. Take notice of things like the food you eat, the smell, the taste, the texture, or as you walk or run, take time and feel the air as you pass through it. If there is a breeze or wind, take time and notice it on your face. Sit down and feel the breeze, smell the air, or as the very famous saying goes, take time and smell the roses. Imagine if we can teach our children to be mindful, how calm they will be. Another important thing about mindfulness is that we should keep it regular, as a family, and when you get a chance on your own. Very important. In the evening time, when you have everyone settled into bed, just take some time and be mindful yourself. So pick 1 or 2 times a day, maybe after lunch or an hour before bedtime. Decide that this is your time every day to practice mindfulness. Try new things, simple things like sitting in a different seat at the dinner table or in the sitting room. As a family, this can help you notice things in a new way or even see people in a different light. We tried this a few times in our home, and it's just hilarious because like even in the classroom or in the workplace, we're like homing pigeons. We all go to the same place. We all sit at the same seat in the dinner table. We all have our own seat for sitting watching TV. And when you do swap it around, you actually become more mindful of your environment and of those who are around you. It's a very, very simple technique. And it's actually quite fun too, especially with younger children. To develop an awareness of our thoughts and feelings, some people find it helpful to actually name them. For example, if we are annoyed with something, we could say, I am feeling anger. When you're aware of a feeling, it is much easier to deal with the emotion. And this is especially true for children. And the book that Sharleen recommended on feelings and emotions, they provide lovely ways of looking at how to deal with these things. It can be helpful to set aside time for more formal mindfulness practice. For example, mindfulness meditation. This involves sitting silently and paying attention to your thoughts, the sounds, the sensations of breathing, or parts of the body. Yoga and Tai Chi are fantastic in developing awareness of your breathing. Yoga is great for all ages. There are actually loads of YouTube channels that provide yoga for children, yoga for parents, yoga for beginners. And like most of us have access now to the internet and YouTube, so you could find a little 5-10 minute session that you as your family can practice. And it is just a wonderful way, you know, when Sharleen was saying that your child comes home and they're having that meltdown, you know, maybe deciding at 4 o'clock each afternoon that you're going to practice a little mindfulness and meditation on how to actually reconnect with the body, reconnect your emotions to your body, and just instilling that sense of calmness. So as I said, there are loads of tips and videos on YouTube to help children practice breathing and mindfulness. So breathing is a technique that allows you to calm down. My actually favorite one for children or mindfulness meditation for kids is it's 12 minutes long, and I know we're kind of running out of time, so we're not going to share this one. So I'm going to share another great one with you, and Sharleen's going to do that now in a minute, by Balloon Peace. So if you want to get comfortable, just get into a relaxed state of mind, get comfortable in your chair, and Sharleen is going to share it with you now. And once that's finished, then we'll pass on the details that you need to do in order to get our booklets. So that is a little overview on mindfulness. I'm going to stop my share now.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Can you see that?
Yep.
Who's ready to hatch some cool pets? Click here to make your very own monster on Adapted Mind, where monsters teach you math.
I don't think that's
Oh
the one.
my!
If you just skip the ad, just I should have it here to share too if you don't have it.
Selves, let's go.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Peace out. Balloon. Hello, Jamie here. Welcome to Peace Out. Time to get comfy. Find a space and either lie down on your back, side or tummy, or sit cross-legged or on a chair. Take a moment now to decide which works best for you. Now you've found your spot, have a wriggle and a fidget so your body feels happy. And when you're done, say goodbye to those fidgets
And hello to that lovely, warm, calm feeling you get when you're relaxed and your body comes to stillness. Rest and breathe gently. You can keep your eyes open for now if you like. See if you can feel your breathing. You might need to slow it down a little so you can feel what it's doing to your tummy, making it lift as you breathe in and lower as you breathe out. Next time, as you breathe out, let your eyes softly close. Well done. Now you can enjoy the adventure. With your eyes closed, your mind can make the pictures for you. You are outside, in a garden, and up in the sky, you spot a red balloon floating. You can see it has a little string dangling down. It's floating down towards you. You wonder where this balloon has come from, and why is it here for you? Now it is right in front of you, like it's waiting for you to take it. You reach your hand forward and take hold of the string. Now you feel the balloon start to rise again up into the sky. You don't let go, and you feel it pulling you up too. It lifts you right up onto your tiptoes, and then your feet leave the ground, and you are floating too, just like the balloon. Where are we going, you wonder? You relax and let yourself be carried, enjoying the cool air on your skin. You see green fields down below, and the trees. You are above the treetops, looking down on them. Look, just up ahead, you see your favourite place in the whole world. You decide what this place is. See if you can imagine it now. What does it look like? The balloon takes you right to it, and you are lowered gently, so you and the balloon are there now. Look around at this place. What can you see? Can you hear any sounds? Are there any people here, or animals? Or is this a place you enjoy all by yourself? Does it have a particular smell, or taste maybe? As you stand here with your red balloon, you soak up the goodness and joy from being here in your favourite place. How much you love it. Breathe into it. As you do, you feel completely happy. And with that happiness, you are ready to return with your balloon. It's time to come back. See if you can notice any sounds around you now. Notice your body, where it touches the ground or the chair beneath you. Enjoy a big stretch and breathe in and out. Gently open your eyes and take a second to just notice how you feel after that. Different maybe to how you felt before you had your piece out. It's been a real treat feeling all that happiness from visiting your favourite place. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Jamie, saying peace out.
It's lovely.
Thank you. I know, it just, whenever you can get into that zone and just feel relaxed, it's just wonderful. And it's a lovely thing for parents to do with their children also. Claudia, I think you're asking, was this something to do with yoga? It's just mindfulness for kids. And if you look it up on YouTube with regards to mindfulness, I have to say there's a few that I use myself, especially if I've had a very busy day at work. And it just gets you into a calm place, and it's like a 10-minute exercise. Sometimes when we're so caught up with homework, with the stresses of running after school and, you know, housework, dinner, everything, all of the stuff that we do on a daily basis, taking that 10 minutes allows you to reconnect with your body, calming the breathing, and it just sets you up that you can take on the next phase or the next stage of what you're doing. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I can't believe that's 11. That hour has really flown. Just, this is the booklets that we're talking about. For those of you who aren't familiar with them, they are lovely booklets. They look at communication and language development, understanding and managing child behaviour. We look at child self-esteem. We also look at attachment and bonding. Supporting empathic development in young children. We look at the importance of play, especially the messy play that some of us don't like to do at home, but it's so important for your child's development. And we also have a lovely little booklet that we got customized for SOOC also on nursery rhymes from different cultures and languages. If you want a pack of these, all you have to do is send us your full name and your full postal address to the email that you registered on this. So it should be mine's Mary Holmes. So if you forward that on, we will get it back to you. Now, we're in a very busy time here at SOOC. September is a busy time for everyone, I think. So it might be the 17th or the 20th before we actually get it posted out to you. But if you're interested in it, just send us along your details and we will definitely pop it out to you. Also, if there was some things there that you do have concerns about, if you want to send us an email, we will try and get back to you with your question on that. So that is it. Thank you so much for joining us. Sharleen, do you want to say anything?
Yep, just thank you. And as Mary said, anything that you need help with, just drop us a wee email and we'll do our best to help you out. And thanks for listening to us on all our webinars. This is our last for now, but hopefully we'll be back in the future.
Okay, so that's it. So just send me your details through the email and that will be brilliant. So thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Soon, hopefully.